All right, welcome into this Friday edition episode of the Jason Big Joe Show right here, 102.5 The Game. It's Friday, Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody's doing quite well. Let's bring in, I haven't seen him in a month of Sundays, the one and only Chase McCabe, broadcasting from parts unknown today. Chase, what's happening?
I'm in a bubble, is probably the best way to put it. But no, I'm here. I don't know what you've been telling people where I'm at, but I've been very much under the weather, but feeling better today. And so I was like, I got to go hang out with the boys for a little bit. Just because that I'm feeling better, I'm absolutely bored to tears. So I need a little entertainment.
You're feeling better? Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad. I mean, your voice, did you lose
I don't sound better.
Right. Did you lose the bass in your voice? Can we get that back somehow, somewhere? I'm sorry about that, buddy.
We'll work on it. But yeah, no, I'm excited to be back and feeling better and wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit. We'll see if I can go the whole show, but I guess a little bit of a pitch count, but we're going to try our best.
I believe in you, and Dr. Crane believes in you, and Parker Kelly believes in you, and Connor Newt believes. Everybody here believes you can get it done today. So we're pulling for you, pal.
Well, we're gonna do it for Rowdy today. That's going to be the theme of the show.
All right, well done. We'll get into that in just a moment, but we're sitting there all watching McAfee because Jared Curtis, for some odd reasons, on the McAfee show with Nate Bargatze, and they were trying to get Jared Curtis to throw the football, but Pat McAfee will not shut up talking. I think he thinks he gets paid by the word. I mean, he's talking nonstop, and so Jared threw a football across the studio into a net or something. But anyway, all right. So let's get back to what we're talking about yesterday. The crushing news that Kyle Busch passed away at 41 years old. I only met Kyle Busch one time, and I'll tell that story later on. It's not important, but you have several times, and I got to tell you, it's at 41. It's tough. I don't care who you are, but I mean, he just raced last week, right?
Well, not only did he race last week, but in the truck series last Friday at the Dover Motor Speedway, he did what he did 234 times in his career, and that was he won. And so that's what is so crazy about this. And if you go and listen to the interview when he got out of the truck, he was doing his traditional bow and his celebration with the fans. And they asked him, why do you love this so much and embrace this so much? And he said very poetically, because you never know when it'll be your last one. And obviously that hits a little closer to home today with the news that Kyle had passed away. And, there are different reports that are out there that, he had been battling a sinus infection, and needed a shot after the race at Watkins Glen a few weeks ago, and but seemed to be doing better. But then there was a report that he was in the simulator on Wednesday in Charlotte and was having some issues, and that's when they called 911, and he ended up going to the hospital and unfortunately never came out. So it's just awful. I mean, whether you were a fan of his or not, and it is take the media side out of it. As a race fan, I wasn't a Kyle Busch fan, but I respected him and knew what, kind of a winner he was. And the thing is, the guy that I was a fan of my entire life, Dale Earnhardt, if there were anyone that was, a millimeter close to what Dale Earnhardt was, it was Kyle Busch. So, I think that the racing world is certainly hurting. I've seen the tributes that they've done at Indianapolis, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which things are going to get going tonight. Currently, the pylon that shows you, the lineup and everything. There is one number on it right now. It is the number 8, and it's at the top of the pylon in tribute to him. And there's going to be even more tributes, throughout the weekend, I'm sure. Joe Gibbs Racing on he hadn't been there for a few years, but cars, the numbers that he drove, they've put Rowdy on the door frame in his honor, which is really cool. So, it took my breath away when I saw that news that he had passed away. And, he was rowdy. I mean, it was just, it's just crazy to think. And, you mentioned him being 41. Like that's what's hitting me hard. 'Cause I'm like, this guy's barely 2 years older than me. And, here I am coming off a respiratory deal, like that. And it's just like, you could just listen to your body. Like, just be careful, because even if it feels like a common cold, you never know what it might be.
So no chance of postponing the race this weekend?
No, I don't think so. Because they would have done it already if they were going to do it, but no. Racers race. And when people have asked me about that, I said, if you don't postpone it for Dale Earnhardt, then I don't think you postpone it for anybody else. And, I think Kyle would want everybody to go out there and race. So,
well, when after Earnhardt passed, Rockingham was the next week. And do you remember what it did that Sunday?
It rained
and canceled the race to the next. So it was kind of like, all right, that we're going to honor Dale Sr. with this rain. I'll know, because I was there in Rockingham that next week, and it was like, all right, we're going to race on Monday. And then was it the third lap that Monday when Dale Jr. wrecked?
It was the first lap.
Yeah. It was something, man. It's terrible. Anytime there's a loss inside, and like all those, you've talked about this, and the close-knit community of NASCAR, there's close-knit community of pro football, all the sports, they got close-knit guys. But I think NASCAR, because they travel each week together in mass, this one hurts for all those guys. And look, I don't know much about NASCAR, and again, I only met Kurt Busch one time, but you're reading all the tributes and everything that goes on, and it's just like, oh man, this sucks. I don't care if you're racing or you're a postman or you work at Publix. At 41, man, that's just much too soon to pass away.
Well, and it is, and it's cool seeing, Rowdy Forever stickers on a lot of the cars. And, you're going to see that over the course of the weekend at Charlotte and Indianapolis. I think they're going to be, honoring them and everything. And there's a lot of chances of rain this weekend. So you might see some of the same things happen that you referenced. But I want to, if you don't mind, tell a quick story. So when I got word that I was going to be doing the announcing at the Nashville Super Speedway with the return of the Cup Series, they were nice enough to fly me to Dover so I could kind of see how a race weekend worked, from that aspect. And so I was sitting in the booth and everything, and this was still post-COVID, so things weren't quite. I was going to be the first weekend where I was actually stage side and not in the booth, to do driver intros and things like that. And I was talking with the guys, and they were like, look, there's going to be certain drivers that, you're going to get a reaction, from the crowd from. And so you want to really fluctuate that. And so, of course, Kyle was one of them. And so I was really like honing in on that when I introduced him, and he was going to run the Xfinity race and then the Cup race. And I was like, okay, I can't wait for this, because I know as soon as I say hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada, that roar was going to start to come, because, he was just a villain at the time. And so that was the first time that I got to experience that, of saying, driver of the number 54 M&M's Toyota, hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Kyle Busch. And just that boo that came out of the stands was phenomenal. And of course he ate it up. I mean, that was what he loved it. Like, he loved playing the bad guy role. But every time I talked to him, every time I had him on, it was a very distinct difference that there was Rowdy, the race car driver, and then there was Kyle, the dad, whenever you would bring up his son Brexton and his racing career. And they were two very different people. And he loved talking about his kids. He loved talking about, Brex's racing career. And, so anytime he'd come on, I'd go, all right, we need the Brex update. And he'd laugh and go, we got to give the people what they want. Right. And that's what, he'd talk about. And so there was a different side to him. He was always very, very cordial and nice to me when I dealt with him. And so just, it's awful news, and thinking about Samantha and Lennox and Brexton during this time. And I'll mention this too. His car owner, Richard Childress, this is twice he's had to do this now. And granted, it was different, 25 years ago with his best friend, but still, I mean, that's really tough on a car owner that, now is having to navigate these waters again that he would hoped he would never have to.
Amen to all that, brother. I'm watching now. Marty McGee is not Marty. What Ryan McGee is now on McAfee talking about that. I mean, I think that's the thing of like when you texted me yesterday, I was like, huh? I mean, that's the reaction. It wasn't like, oh no. I was like, it's just one of those things where it's so hard to believe that you're trying to comprehend a text message. And then Dr. Crane texted me as well. I'm like, what? It's just one of those things. It's like, you think at 41, I mean, I know NASCAR is different as far as longevity in sports, but those guys can race into their 50s. Like, most athletes are in the 30s, but I started thinking, I know we talked about athletes passing away like in their prime, and like when Thurman Munson passed away in the plane crash. I know Kobe in the helicopter, his career was done, but it was still, it hurt, man. Those things, because you buy into these guys and what they're doing. Like, oh, that's cool. I hate that guy. Oh man, I love to hate that guy and all that. And it's just like, man, you don't realize the impact. And then look, you said it best, man. Things like this, we all question our mortality. It's just human nature, right? I'm 57. I'm surprised I'm still here at 57. But it's human nature. We do all that. And it's like, man, so now what we want, which we don't deserve, are answers, right? I mean, we don't deserve how he passed. We don't need to know that. I mean, it's just, we're curious.
Sure.
But it's just like, holy hell, man. He 41 years old. And then with Kyle Busch, I read this morning, and he won more NASCAR sanctioned events than anybody ever, correct?
234.
And that's truck, Cup Series, and the Infinity Busch, whatever you call it, right?
O'Reilly, yeah. So that's more than Richard Petty. That's more than Dale Earnhardt. That's more than Darrell Waltrip. I mean, that's across all three. And I think he had 64 in the Cup Series, which is, still was awesome. What I'm going to be interested in, by the way, NASCAR CEO Steve O'Donnell will meet with the media at 4:00 Central today at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So I'm sure we'll learn a little bit more at that time when he meets with the media. But this has been brought up. I've seen this on the internet. They just announced the 2027 Hall of Fame class. Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, and then a legend, Larry Phillips. I forget, they have a name for that one, but those are the three inductees. I think that they should, get the committee together and basically say, we're going to go ahead and put Kyle Busch into the Hall of Fame. He's first ballot. There's no question. There's no argument. Why wait 2 years? I mean, I think it would be the ultimate honor to Kyle and his family to go ahead and induct him with, especially alongside a guy in Kevin Harvick that he had many, many great battles with.
Is his brother in the Hall of Fame?
He is. Yep.
Okay. And you're going to bring it up. I mean, I was there the night he smashed the guitar at the Speedway, and I'm not going to hide the fact it infuriated everyone.
It did.
Everyone. Yeah. And then I was there at the press conference when he came back, and Tammy Brewington's like, all right, Kyle's coming back. Please don't ask him any questions about the it's over. And first question, Larry Woody's like, Kyle, why did you do that? And what did you think you would gain from that? And all hell broke loose at that press conference in the press box at the very tiny Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And
Super Speedway.
And yours truly, it was at the fairgrounds. Yours truly was in the front, bending down with 4 microphones in front of Kyle Busch while all that went on. And I'm telling you, it was the most surreal interview process I'd ever been through, because his people are yelling at Larry Woody. Larry Woody's yelling at them. That Tammy Brewington's yelling at Larry. Other reporters are yelling at her. And I'm right in the middle of it, basically squatting down, holding microphones up. And it was just complete bedlam. And it was 1,000 degrees in that tiny little fairground speedway press. Like, it only holds like 10 people, and like 40 of us are in there. But that was a moment, man, where a lot of people in Nashville were like, all right, I'm done with him. And then, this better than I did, but he worked really hard at crafting that I'm not such a jerk. I'm just I want to win vibe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, he did. I mean, because it's like you have brought up before. Um, he hates to lose.
Yeah.
He just hates to lose. And I mean, when he and I need to go and find it, but I asked him about that about 5 years ago. You know, has he seen that same thing in Brexton? And he goes, believe it or not, he was like, I'm serious when I say this. People are going to roll their eyes and laugh. It's worse with him than it is
Oh,
with
man.
me. And he's like, I've had to work with him on that, but like he hates to lose. So, but yeah, no, I think and when he won a few years ago at the super speedway, he kind of faked it,
Yeah.
but then he was like, no, I'm not going to do it. You know,
I think he knew. I mean, that day at the press conference over the fairgrounds, I think he knew, like, oh man, I messed up, but I'm going to continue my tough guy here and all that, because we talked afterwards. Like, yeah, he felt bad. You could just tell by his body language and the way he acted that day. He's like, I deserved this today. I deserved everybody yelling at me. I deserved the chaos for what I did. And but a lot of people are still crossed about that, man, and that's their prerogative, and I understand all that. But I mean, he smashed a guitar. It's like he didn't run over 40 people on the interstate, right? I mean, yeah, it was dumb. He knew it was dumb, but there's a lot worse things he could have done that we could be mad about, or anybody, to move on. But regardless, that's one of those text messages yesterday. Again, I never knew Kyle Busch, that you don't want to get from anyone at any age, at any time, about somebody passing away. It's just like, wow. And it's just awful, awful, awful.
we will have Joe Williams on, who is one of the voices at the Super Speedway alongside me. Join us at 12:30 to talk more about this. But we have a lot to get into today. 615-737-1025. What's our question of the day?
Well, our question of the day is, and hopefully get more time into this, it's Memorial Day weekend. So we want to hear from you about somebody in your family that served, that passed away. It's what Memorial Day is about. It's not about your cookout or going to the lake or your road trip. It's about the men and women who served this country. So 615-737-1025. If somebody in your family served and you want to give them a shout out, let us know. Call in or text. And with Memorial Day weekend being here, let us honor them in this way and keep their memory alive. Because I've said this forever. Soldiers die twice. They die physically. They die the second time when we stop telling their stories.
Yep.
So may we never stop telling their stories. And if we could be a small part of that today, to tell people how you feel about a loved one that's passed away that served in the military, let us know. 615-737-1025.
We'll have more on that and so much more coming here on the show. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game.
All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show right here on this beautiful Friday in Nashville, in America's Music City. Chase, Dr. Crane, and myself wish you all a very happy Memorial Day weekend. So, Chase, let me clarify again that I might have confused you. When Kyle smashed,
not hard to do, by the way.
When Kyle smashed the guitar at the Speedway, he didn't talk to anybody. There was no press conference, and he avoided all that. The next year, when he came back to town, he held a press conference at this Fairground Speedway. It was our first chance to talk to Kyle afterwards. He was promoting some race that was going on at the fairgrounds. A lot of local media showed up there that day to talk to him, and they came out and said, hey, we're not going to discuss the guitar smashing. No, don't bring it up. Please don't do that. Oh, you'll be asked to leave. And they're like, okay. And the first question was from Larry Woody, and Larry Woody basically said, hey, man, do you have any regrets about smashing the guitar? And I'm telling you, all hell broke loose that day. And, you've been up there in that small room at the Fairground Speedway, and there was no air conditioning, people yelling at each other. And then Kyle just kind of stood there. And I remember looking at Kyle Busch. He was like, yeah, this sucks. And all this is going on because of what I did. And I kind of felt bad for him because I know what he's trying to do, be funny, be cute, at the Speedway, smash the guitar. But when you get a guy like the late Sam Busch?
Sam Bass.
Sam Bass, I'm sorry.
And so Joe Williams is going to join us in a second, was standing right next to him when it happened.
Yes.
So he can tell, he can kind of tell his perspective.
Well, we went and interviewed Sam Bass the next day, and we at the Starbucks in Green Hills, and he was upset. He's like, that's a lot of pride that you put in that, and that's a big honor. And he was just kind of disappointed that happened. But, that's a long time ago, but it's just weird because I'm in the middle of all this and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And so, yeah, Joe's the perfect guy to talk about all this that went on and the impact that Kyle had locally when he raced here.
I saw this stat: wins by organization for Kyle Busch in the Cup Series, 56 with Joe Gibbs Racing, 4 with Hendrick Motorsports, 3 with Richard Childress Racing, 90 with Joe Gibbs in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, 11 with Hendrick, 1 with Braun Racing, Craftsman Truck Series, 48 with Kyle Busch Motorsports, 16 with Billy Ballou Motorsports, and 5 with Spire Motorsports, which is who he sold Kyle Busch Motorsports to, and they're rebranding as KBM this week, which is really cool.
I saw a thing early this morning. I meant to screenshot. I didn't do it, about NASCAR drivers passing away. Obviously, Davey Allison, Alan Kulwicki, Greg Biffle a few months ago, and then about just off the track, the deaths that happened. And they were like, of all those, the deaths, like with Dale Sr., that was accepted in a way because they passed away doing what they absolutely loved. And I was like, yeah. And then the other ones were on, like Kulwicki and Davey were going to be racing, and they unfortunately passed away. But they said the ones who passed away on the track, don't mourn for them because they passed away doing what they love, which is really hard not to mourn for some driver that you're invested in, and that, like you, Adele Sr. and other people, because they were doing what they absolutely loved. And how fortunate, I know it sounds weird, but to pass away doing what you love. I mean, it was just like, man, okay. It made you think like extra hard, like, wow, on all this.
Well, it's almost like you feel like he's just been taken and not, whereas with Dale, it was kind of like he died going for the win in the Daytona 500. He died doing what Dale did. And so I think some people kind of look at it that way of there's no answer, right now of why.
Right.
And so that's what makes it so difficult, but
you're right, man. You're right.
Yeah. So we'll talk to Joe Williams coming up here in just a few minutes and kind of get his perspective on this as you listen to Chase and Big Joe 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Friday. Hope you're having a great day so far. And talking about the life and times of Kyle Busch, NASCAR driver that passed away at the age of 41 yesterday. And we say hello now to my partner in the booth at the Nashville Super Speedway, Joe Williams, who has been around Kyle many, many times over his illustrious career. Joe, how you doing?
I'm still not sure.
I know.
This one has hit me a little, and Becky, my wife, made the comment, said this one's hit you a little rougher than most.
Well, it has an eerie, similar feeling to how many people in the racing world and in the world in general felt probably on February 19th, 2001.
Chase, it's funny, and Big Joe, I think, hit it on the head. I made the comment last night. I've lost a lot of friends and heroes over the years in this business. Dale and Clifford Allison, I understood. Neil Bonnet, they died in wrecks. They were doing what they loved to do. Alan and Davey, I kind of understood because they were either going to do what they loved to do or to be a part of what they loved to do. Those I understood. Bobby Hamilton, a good friend, long illness, and when he passed, I understood. This one has just, Chase, it's funny. You're right. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I was not always the biggest Kyle Busch fan in the world. His runs at Nashville, there was trying to remember which year it was. He had a then Busch race won in the 5-car for Hendricks before Clint Boyer got into him, and Michael Waltrip went
2005.
That was 5. Yeah, yep. Michael Waltrip goes
2004.
Yeah, he goes from 6th to winning the race in the final half lap, which this sees park sometimes for you. But I thought Kyle got robbed on that one. I was in Victory Lane waiting to do the Victory Lane interview in that hot, god-awful hot night in August of 09. And, I'm not I'm not a violent guy, but when he took that guitar and hit the ground and just pounded into the ground, I gave a very serious thought to just running over, and I was going to attempt to beat him to a bloody pulp, but I knew it in my career. I took about half a step, and Sam Bass grabbed me, put his arm around my neck. He said, "Joe, he doesn't understand. He's a kid."
Yeah.
And as he, second and third swings, I looked and I realized he has no earthly idea what he's doing. His sponsors left, dignitaries left, track officials left. I mean, everybody split from Victory Lane. And I looked at Sam, I'm just not going to talk to him. He can do it. He said, no, go talk to him for me. And I remember him, and the Tennessean had a great picture, and I've got it stolen somewhere. The look on my face when, why? And he says, well, you're just trying to do something different, kind of a rock star. He had no earthly idea, Chase.
Yeah.
What he had done. And a lot of folks don't realize that in the couple of months after that, not only did he replace the guitar, and that's a $25,000 guitar, by the way. That Gibson Les Paul Custom with the Sam Bass design was a $25,000 guitar. He replaced about 5 of them because he gave one back to Sam, actually, and apologized for tearing his original apart.
Yeah.
And he gave $75,000, I think, to Metro Public Schools music group. And he did his best, I think, to try to make that right. But a lot of folks didn't see that. All we remember, is that. And he did some stupid stuff. I mean, crashing Ron Hornaday at Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. But it's funny. I keep going back to, he started in this, he planned to start when he was 16. He started when he was 18. He's 41 years old. He's got 20, that's a career. 22 years anywhere is a career. He's 40 years old. He had a career already. And if I'm rattling too much, tell me.
No, you're good.
But I think the turning point for me, he married Samantha, and that seemed to get a hold of you. and he started to mature a little bit. And I actually got to talk to her, what was it, 5 years ago when he won his 100th race.
Yep.
And Joe, you were talking about he did the fake. No, no, I'm not. But I will tell you what struck me about that. I got to talk to her, but while he was pulling the car in, and thanked her because they obviously had gone through some real infertility issues. And she had written a book that was very, very important to my daughter and her husband who were going through it. And I thanked her for that. And we had a great conversation. And I said, thank you for what you've done to him. And she just smiled and said, he's growing up. But the crazy part was I'm still a little concerned about doing this interview. And he's got out of the car and he's doing his Kyle Busch thing. And all of a sudden Brexton comes up. And guys, when he saw Brexton, everything changed. His crew didn't matter anymore. His car didn't matter anymore. The trophy didn't matter. The 25,000 people in the stands didn't matter. The national TV and radio audience waiting for an interview didn't matter. All that mattered was Brexton. And for 2.5 minutes, it was just he and his son celebrating a victory. And that's when I thought, this guy's going to be okay.
Joe Williams. I'm sorry, Joe.
I said, don't take away. He was when he went to work, when he put the helmet on and went to work, he was different.
Yep.
He was still a curmudgeon. He would crash you to get what he needed. On Sundays, it's funny. Monday through Saturday, he loved his crew, and on Sunday, he hated their guts. I talked to him like that anyway. But everybody just apparently, that was the guys who worked on his crew that I've talked to just said, that's Kyle. He was just that determined to win.
Joe Williams is with us on the Chasing Big Joe show. Joe, not to belabor the point about the guitar smashing, but that's how a lot of people discovered Kyle Busch. And you're right. I mean, he was a kid, 24, 25 when he did all that. And, the press conference when he came back, and you could just tell his body language that he was like, yeah, this sucks. And the reason they're all here is because of what I did. And I don't know, maybe that was a turning moment for him, small one, to say, hey, I little mea culpa here that I did that was wrong. And I don't know, I just thought after that moment, a little bit changed possibly, but you knew him a lot better than I did.
Well, I don't know. I knew him a lot better than you did, but I could read him. The funny part about that was everybody in that room, you, me, everybody else knew that if anybody was going to ask the question, it's going to be Larry.
Right.
That's God, I love Larry. But that's Larry. He is going to ask the question no matter how hard it is. And yeah, you could tell when Kyle came in and saw Larry, you could see a change in his body language. And I think he had tried so hard to put it behind him. It's kind of like ripping off a scab. And Larry asked the question, and everybody went crazy, and you could just tell.
Right.
I mean, you could just tell. And as a matter of fact, I remember you because I was a little bit worried about you because you were down low and the closest of all of us to him. And I thought,
yeah,
if he gets violent, Big Joe's he's the one that's going to catch this.
Right.
Ruben's in the middle of this.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very surreal. Go back a second about the replacing the guitar. I have never heard that story. I'd never heard that he gave more money and replaced I don't know why I've never heard that.
But that's the problem. He didn't want anybody to know. That was one of those things. There was no PR end on that. That was something, and the funny part was there was no PR end on it because in his defense, God help me for defending him, but in his defense, he was danged if he did and danged if he didn't, okay? If he did this quietly, nobody ever knew, and they still hated him for busting the guitar, all right? If they make a PR thing out of it, well, they still hate him because he's just trying to buy his way out of it.
Right.
So there was no way for that to be. He was in a trick bag. But no, I mean he replaced. I think he had one made for himself, one made for the team, one made for Sam. I guess he's running for JGR at the time. This kind of thing. And then, like I said, I mean, and it's oh man, I should know the name of the school over on 8th Avenue, but it's the Metro School of Arts for Music. And yeah, I mean, he wrote them a check for like $50,000 out of his pocket. This wasn't team money. This was Kyle money. You know, and the other thing, you know, it's stories like that nobody knows. I'll give you another one. Clay Greenfield up in Springfield has done a good job over the years of taking minimal backing and running the truck series. Okay. So several years ago, he had broken his wrist and he was trying to get over it. And he and Kyle were actually working out at the gym at Daytona and got to talking about Kyle's recovery when he broke his legs and his feet in that horrible crash at Daytona. If you remember that one, a lot of folks forget about that one. And
I was there.
Actually, yeah. Well, Kyle starts, we did, you know, my guys did this, this, and this. Have you tried? And he said, you know, it was really a nice conversation. He appreciated it. And he'd gone back to his motor coach. Clay said about 4:30 that afternoon, there was a knock on the door. And hey, how you doing? He says, I'm fine. I'm so-and-so. I'm Kyle's trainer. He asked me to come see you and chat with you a while. Hey, try this. And you know, but you don't hear those, right? You didn't have to do that. Obviously, Clay's kids are into some of the quarter midget and the Legends racing now, as is Brexton. And they've apparently become pretty, you know, they became pretty good friends because their kids are friends. And that's what Clay said, you know, at the racetrack in those situations, he's a dad. He's not Mr. Bow when I win and you can hate me. And I like it. He's just a dad. And, you know, he very quietly came in last month and we didn't do a whole lot with it because he didn't want a whole lot done with it, quite honestly. We tried to respect that. But he came in last month for the INEX Spring Nationals and he won 2 races up at the Rim, up at Highland Rim. Didn't hear a lot about that though, did you? Yeah.
No, I didn't know that at all.
Didn't hear a thing about that, did you?
Nope.
The reason is he was running a Legends car. Brex was running his Bandolero, and I mean they brought all the stuff. I mean it's, you know, he's still a NASCAR superstar, but they brought all the stuff and created a little compound. But his whole reason for being here was to race, have fun, spend time with his children. Sam and Samantha and Lennox all came. Of course, when they moved to Nashville on Thursday and Friday, he had to go race Brexton State. But yeah, you didn't hear a whole lot about that. And I think that was just kind of the respect he had earned as a dad to be left alone to do that. But yeah, he won 2 races up there. He won 2 Legends races up there.
Wow, that is pretty cool. And a total of 5 wins at the Nashville Super Speedway, 2 in the Xfinity or now O'Reilly Series, 2 in the Truck Series, and 1 ARCA. Never got it in the Cup Series, which I think surprises both of us, but still did a lot of winning at the Nashville Super Speedway. Partner, appreciate it as always. And
I know you're sure. You know why he won an ARCA race here?
I don't.
He won an ARCA race here. He was 17 years old because when Rick Hendrick was going to bring him in, he was 16, and that's when NASCAR said, "Oh, wait a minute, no, you got to be 18 to run our national series." So he wound up running ARCA just to get super speedway experience, and of course it was ARCA. He spanked them.
Oh yeah, he was dominant in that 2003 in that race.
I'm a little bit concerned. Joe hit it on the head. You know, when Earnhardt passed, you had the race got delayed. Rockingham race got delayed. And there's a piece of me that is concerned that if they get rain in Charlotte and they aren't able to do some of the things that they want to do in Charlotte, we'll wind up doing it next week in Nashville.
Yeah. Wow. I think there will be some of that next week for sure.
I guarantee there'll be some, but it could be even bigger. But I'm still trying to come to grips with it. It sounds like I've been listening to you guys for a while. It sounds like you guys are too. It just TMZ has released what they claim is the 911 call.
Yeah.
That, you know, he was short of breath, coughing, hot, felt like he was going to pass out when they called for an ambulance. So I don't know, man. I just, it's 41 years old, a man in great shape. The best advice I heard is something you said earlier: listen to your body.
Yeah.
No matter what your age, listen to your body.
100%. Appreciate it, my friend. I will see you next week.
I'm sorry, guys. Y'all have a great afternoon. Keep up the good work, man. I love the show.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye, y'all.
Appreciate it. My partner, Joe Williams, he'll be in the booth with me at the Nashville Super Speedway next week. I'm always stuck next to a Joe and happy to do so.
At least that Joe's got talent. Hey, listen, he makes a good point because that whole show comes here next week, right? I mean, starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, they're here. So it's just kind of crazy thinking like he's not going to be part of this. I just have they. I know I don't mean to sound really bad here, but have they announced a replacement driver for him?
Well, they had already done that when the news came out that he wasn't going to be able to race this weekend. Austin Hill is going to drive his Cup car this weekend, so I don't know what that looks like moving forward, after this weekend. But I'm sure some of that'll be addressed, by Richard and the team throughout the weekend.
Man, I'm watching the news. It's everywhere just because he was 41. I mean, it's just like the unknown. I mean, anyway, Joe summed it up really good right there.
Yep, that was very good stuff. We'll have more coming here on Chasing Big Joe on this Friday, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe 102.5 The Game here on this Friday. Appreciate just the Kyle Busch talk for this first hour. Truthful, I think it's healing for us too. I mean, especially, I kind of live and breathe the sport, and it's just still surreal that it's that he's not here anymore and won't be here next weekend.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Crazy.
Is it the big races this weekend, the Coca-Cola 600? Is that right? And
Yep.
All right. Huge. I mean, is this weekend bigger than Daytona in February?
No. I mean, for NASCAR, no. For racing, probably yes, with the Indianapolis 500. But
for NASCAR, it's not.
No.
So is it good that – so it's probably number 2?
Yeah, probably.
So is it good that the Nashville Super Speedway hosts next week's race right after this?
Yeah.
Kind of a
probably
bounce forward. I mean, kind of a like to the second half of the season.
Yep. That's a good way to look at it. But yeah, but I think that's an interesting way to look at it for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's, but I think people can heal by watching racing. I mean, that's what you want. And that whoever wins that race is going to have some sort of, the bow or some sort of tribute.
Right. Let me ask you this. I was golfing with a guy yesterday, a big race guy. He goes to Talladega. So evidently there was this beef between Dale Jr. and Kyle Busch for years.
Yep.
He said at Talladega when Kyle Busch would come around, like the whole section, he's like, must have been 20,000 people all stood up and would flip Kyle Busch off.
Oh yeah.
He said, Joe, I've been to a million sporting events. It was the most fun, crazy, bizarre, surreal thing I've ever seen. Like everybody in unison, like the wave, stood up and flipped off Kyle Busch as he came in. And they said they did it like the whole race.
Oh yeah. Well, because in 2000, I think it was 2008 at Richmond, Junior and Kyle were fighting for the win, and Kyle basically blatantly wrecked Dale Jr. and didn't show any remorse over it and all that stuff. And they did not have a good relationship for a long time, and they finally worked it out. And that was something that Dale Jr. Posted on Twitter. I'll actually read it. Said, Kyle and I had a really challenging existence for many years, but we luckily took the time to figure out our differences. And that was something he instigated with a conversation in his bus around how we each managed our racing teams. I was super eager for us to get on better terms, but it was he who made the effort for that to be possible. We did some media together also to laugh through some of the things we put each other through many years ago. Most recently, we had even been discussing him running my late model at Wilkesboro this summer. He seemed extremely happy, and we had planned to meet up next Thursday to get his seat to the shop. He laughed over the idea of his fans and Junior Motorsports fans having to cheer in unison during that race. Kyle was one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history. No one can deny that, but he was also a father, a husband, a brother, a son, and a friend to many. My heart is broken for the Busch family. I will never be able to make sense of his loss, and I'm thankful that we had found a way to become friends.
Nice. It's got to be a bit surreal for Dale Jr. I mean,
oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah. I am very sure. I will say this. I want to play one of my all-time favorite Kyle Busch moments. So the week before, he and Joey Logano had gotten into it, and they had to go meet with NASCAR. And NASCAR was like, boys, you got to play nice and everything. And so they literally, Kyle walks out of the NASCAR hauler, and the media is waiting on him. And supposedly Joey's hanging behind the door. And this was the exchange with the media. Okay, you don't have it yet. Okay, we'll have it in just a second. But it's pretty funny.
What year is this?
I don't remember. Probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Well, maybe before COVID. Let's take Dustin's call real quick while Dr. Crane gets that ready. Dustin, what you got?
Hey guys. So I grew up watching NASCAR, and I quit. I was a Dale Jr. fan and big Dale Earnhardt fan. And, I remember that the day Dale Earnhardt died, as a kid. What year was that? 99?
01.
01. So I was born in 88. What was I, 13? It didn't feel real till the next day, and I seen the newspaper, and I still got that newspaper clipping. But I was a Dale Jr. fan, Dale Earnhardt fan, Brad Keselowski fan, so you already know where I'm going. I hated Kyle Busch, but buddy, deep down, we all love Kyle Busch. He made NASCAR so much better, especially with Dale gone. He was the new Dale, and it's just, he was a cocky guy, an a-hole, but he's a father and a husband, and I think you see past that, he was a really good guy. I think you give the shirt off his back to anybody out there in the NASCAR world. He will be missed. I've watched some here lately, but not much. Maybe I'll get back into it. Maybe it's sad to say, but because Kyle's gone, just to see what's going on and everything. But he definitely made my time watching the sport great. I remember I went to Bristol one time and Brad Keselowski come out and he was announcing himself and he said, "I'm Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch is an A." And the whole crowd went wild. And if Kyle Busch wasn't like that, they wouldn't have had that moment. I love his style driving, his intimidation. And he's so good at Bristol. All the tracks, I think the only ones he didn't lock down was the one where the air helped you, where everybody had the same speed. It's the Talladega and Daytona is where you're restricted. But yeah, I mean, it's sad. I hate it. I love to hate him, but I actually deep down love the guy, and I hate that this has happened.
I think that's a great call, Dustin. Appreciate it. And I think that's how a lot of people feel.
Yep.
Exactly real quick, right. This was the exchange.
Everything's great. Looking forward to a fantastic weekend here in Phoenix. Back to the racetrack.
What did Logano do wrong with the racing any differently?
Everything's great. Looking forward to getting back to the racetrack and getting into my race car.
Are you okay with Joey moving forward?
Everything's great. Really looking forward to getting into my race car and getting back here at Phoenix.
Speaking of that, are you glad that this is over now? You get in the car where you're comfortable and get back to racing?
Everything's great. Really looking forward to getting back into my car and being here in Phoenix.
That was the best part.
That is 1,000 times better than Marshawn Lynch's nonsense at the Super Bowl. Yep. That's really funny. Because he sounds so energetic, like, "Hey, thanks for the question," and then he gives you that answer.
So the story was that NASCAR, basically was like, if you get asked about it, just say you're excited to be back at the racetrack and, everything's good and all that stuff. And so he took it to a completely different level.
Nice.
And it was fantastic.
Oh,
we will move on to some other things, but we'll have Chris Sanders join us coming up next here on Chasing Big Joe 102.5 The Game.
All right, welcome back in the second hour of the Chase and Big Joe show right here at the game studio. Welcome back to the damn show right here, brought to you by the Omni National Hotel. It's the Chase and Big Joe show with you on this Friday. As we do every Friday at 1 o'clock, it's bringing our good man, the guy that we just think the world of, the forever Titan wide receiver, Chris Sanders. Chris, what's going on, man?
Champ, how you doing, man? Just loving this rain and just excited about life, man. Appreciate you, brothers. It's always an honor to come on the show, man. It really is.
All right, first, before we go anywhere, how's the NBA track and field team doing?
Champ, we took second. Macaulay won it. They had some studs, some dudes, but we took second. It was close. They had 133. We had 115. But at the end of the day, man, you watch kids overcome things at the beginning of the season and watch them get better. That's better than winning a trophy. So they did outstanding job. Thanks for asking.
Do we have some individual state champions?
We won the 4x4. We took second in the 4x1 and 4x2. I think who else we had? I think we had a couple of seconds, but I think we had one first. That was it.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I have it on good authority that Macaulay, all the people that won, were in their 30s. So you're good there, man.
They were 55. They had a mustache and a goatee at 6.
Yeah.
So
we'll file a complaint. Hey, listen, the Titans. I always love this, right? So the Titans are here. Everybody's watching Cornell Tate, and they're like, man, he catches the ball so smooth. Yeah. I mean, he owns the ball. He's like, like the ball's his best friend. And I'm like, look, what do we take away from OTA? I mean, would it be something if he dropped every pass? I mean, why the love, right? I don't understand it.
I mean, I just think number one, he's a number 4 pick. Number 2 is, the fans are expecting something good because the last couple of years were bad. So now you got Cornell Tate coming in, and he's giving this team some hope. I mean, I know it's just shorts. I know it's just shirts. I know it's not pads or anything, but you're giving these fans some hope. You're giving your quarterback some hope. You're giving their staff some hope that you got a guy on the outside that can stay healthy and make plays. So, he caught 2 touchdowns against a defense that doesn't have pads on.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it brings hope that this guy can come in and make plays and help Cam Ward be a great player.
All right, I'm going to give you 3 receivers. You'd already left the team by this time, but these are 3 receivers in the mid-2000s where people like the media, and the writers like these guys. There was a guy named Joel Filani. He was terrible, right? But at camp, Joel Filani. There was a guy named Paul Williams that I swear to God was on the practice squad for 14 years.
Oh, dude, are you going back in the 60s?
Not the singer. And then there was Brandon Jones, receiver out of Oklahoma. Look, and they're like, these can't. They look great in camp. Brandon Jones did okay when he got in the game time, but we just fall in love with these people in training camp. I'm like, let me see how they do in September.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But see, here's the things that you got to look at. Even though they don't have pads on, even though they're not hitting, and even though they're not really contesting the catches, watch the technique of the guys. Watch how, they run routes. Watch how they can get off the press. Watch how, they burst out of the cut. Look at those things. Then now when you start doing the one-on-ones and start doing all those things and the pads are involved, if he can't get off the press, now you're like, oh, my gosh, what do we get ourselves into? But there's still some things you can take away from it. I know, we're not in, camp or anything, and they're not able to get hit or anything. But look at the little things that you can see. Okay, this guy has something. Just like when A.J. Brown came on, the first time he caught the ball, we was like, whoa, he's got something. So if you can build off something, that means you can end up with something. I think you can have it that way.
We're talking to forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders.
Man, who's this guy?
I don't know. The voice is a little messed
How you
up.
Doing, man?
I'm good. I'm making
Good,
it for sure.
Good. Yeah.
Something I saw this week that I thought was kind of neat was one of the drills that the receivers ran was they purposely used the jugs machine to make the ball basically you have to catch it right off the ground, and most of the guys weren't able to do it. But how beneficial is that going to be of trying to make those tight catches if Cam throws them a little bit low?
Yeah, it's called the bad ball drill. I do the exact same thing to where you're going to watch a guy to where he's got to follow the ball. You don't catch the ball with your hands, you catch the ball with your eyes. So when you do this drill, you're shooting it to where it's a bad ball, and if his eyes are off the ball or off where his hands are, he's going to drop the football. So that drill is really, really good because there's going to be a situation to where the ball is not always going to be in the window to where you want it. So you have to make the bad catch. You have to catch the ball with your eyes, and you're looking at guys, if they can't do that now, how are you going to catch the ball when it's tight window or it's a bad ball or it's high or it's behind you or it's low? So this is a good drill to see where these guys are catching the ball, not with just their hands, but they're catching the ball with their eyes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So that's something you said you do with your guys
Yes,
at NBA.
I do the exact same drill because the thing about it is you see guys who drop the football because you got to look. We always say this because I know it sounds kind of cliche or corny that you got to look the ball in, but you see guys drop the football is when they look away at the last moment. You watch Kyle Tate. I know he dropped one. I think the first rep that he did, he dropped it, but he comes back the second and third times and he adjusted to it to watch his eyes go to the ball. So that's a good indication that he's got good ball skills because if a guy doesn't do that well, you got a problem on your hand.
Cam Ward was very complimentary of him and just saying that he, the way he conducts himself in practice. And look, you want to hear that from the quarterback, but is this the perfect time for them to get on the same page and to get to know each other where they can have that camaraderie when they get into the season?
Yeah, 1,000%. They have to have the same eyes. Right now it's hunky-dory and everything's good and everything seems okay. But I want to see it when live bullets are thrown to where if it's cover two and one safety comes down, they have to have a side adjust. They need to have the same. They need to have the same eyes, and they got to make sure that they're on the same page. And if they're not on the same page, and one guy's looking at something, another guy looking at something different, then you have a recipe for disaster. So if those guys can do that and they have the same eyes, you're gonna watch something special with those other guys. Also with Cam Ward.
Chris Sanders is with us on the Chase and Big Joe show. How crucial is it with a new staff and new team and new players that all these OTAs, they get it right? And but that means, schedule wise, know what Coach Sala wants, know what everybody wants. How important is it that you get all this right so when you hit the ground running in late July, you don't have to worry about this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to be on the same page. It's got to start with the coaches. They're the one that's laying the foundation, making sure guys line up right, making sure guys are doing the side, just making sure they're doing the right things. And the good thing about it is just getting guys lined up. So you get guys lined up. The coaches are on the same page. The players are on the same page. So now when you get into camp, you already laid the foundation of what you want to do, and then you start adding things on. So when you start doing that, then guys can definitely get better.
There's a report on ESPN.com on the big stories. Cam Ward says he lost 10 pounds since last season. Do we care?
I mean, I kind of care a little bit because I just watched him do a couple of rollouts on video. He looks swifter. He looks more comfortable. Last year, he looked okay comfortable, but this year, I mean, his hips are not as tight as they were before. So when I watch him do a rollout or a boot or just a bootleg, it's a little different. He just looks more, can I just say this? I'm not saying he wasn't athletic. He just looks smoother. He looks athletic-wise, and he looks so comfortable with losing those 10 pounds. I know it sounds kind of like cliche or corny, but it's still something to where it's going to benefit him in his skill set.
Well, you're right. I mean, and Sala said, this is an article that Teron Davenport has on ESPN.com. It's like, Sala says his arm is perfectly healthy. He's slinging the ball. He's got some good velocity on it. And look, that's what I want to hear about my quarterback if I'm a Titans fan in mid-May.
I mean, you want to have that because if we're sitting in a position to where he's struggling to throw the ball and struggling to do that, then it's not going to look good. So you want to see the velocity. I mean, he might not, even if he's not really even accurate yet, you still want to see some velocity because the situation where I guess he had that little surgery. Now it takes how can I say it? It takes the worry out of, okay, we just got to, kind of edge this guy along. But now you have a situation to where he's throwing the ball velocity. Now you can build on what he needs to build on.
Oh, absolutely. Do you recommend, like when camp ends, that he and Tate and the receivers all keep this going at some private workout somewhere?
Absolutely, because you got a whole bunch of new guys. I mean, DK and Alec Ayumatter, they know a little bit of Cam. Robinson and Carnell don't. So these guys need to spend time, laugh with each other, joke with each other, and get to know these guys. So once you get to know them off the field, now you'll be able to build a relationship on the field. Why? Because you're building camaraderie. And at the end of the day, if you build camaraderie and build an identity, now you have something special.
Chris, great stuff as always. We appreciate it. Yep. Have a great weekend.
Y'all, man. Love y'all so much, bro.
You too. Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver, joining us here on the program. Good stuff there, Joe.
Great stuff.
We'll come back with more, including, did you know the Weenie 500 is happening right now?
That's personal, so you could text that to us later. I do got a question for you. I want to come back and answer. There's all these events are talked about coming to town. There's one event that Nashville has not been mentioned in, and I want to get you guys' thoughts of why, and this has been for years, why Nashville's never been mentioned for this? And it's I need to get answers, and I'm going to ask you that next.
Okay, we will talk about that next. Chasing Big Joe, 105 The Game.
All right, welcome back to the Chasing Big Joe show right here on 102.5 The Game, brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel. By the way, if you're out in the boot, there's a monsoon in Nashville, Tennessee right now. We need it. Move out before the weekend is great, but we needed the rain. I mean, it is coming down. Poor Dr. Crane left his windows down.
Did he?
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
But I told him he did, and the look of panic upon his face was He said, "Did I
That's
leave
like
my
the-
windows down?" I'm like,
That's like the worst thing you can do to some. Hey, your sunroof's open. Oh no.
Oh my gosh, you're exactly right.
Chase,
All right.
you know, every time people scare me in the office, I always go in that frantic, like left to right movement.
Yes, you
That's
do.
exactly what I just did.
Yes, you do.
I mean, your eyes got massively big. Like, oh, what? I'm like, I'm just kidding, buddy.
I wasn't looking at a cheeseburger.
But before you
yeah.
introduce this, can I just point out the greatest thing on television is happening right now? That is the Weenie 500, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles. There's 6 of them. They are racing at a tragically slow speed around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it's hilarious.
I thought you meant actual wiener dogs. And I'm like, oh, that'll be fun. But it's the actual Wienermobile.
Yeah.
And now we're glued watching it here in the studio too as well.
It's so bad. It's like they're gonna wreck.
I mean, are
They're
they going 10
wide
miles
down
an hour? How
Yeah.
fast are they going?
Not very excuse me, not very fast.
I mean, I think you could beat these guys on a walker. I mean, they are taking their time forever to get there. And then they're still going. This is amazing. This is amazing television. I'd watch every second of this.
I think this is like the 3rd year they've done this. Something like that.
You okay, buddy?
No.
Send out the crew over there for Monsters Inc. to clean up the area over there to get you going. All right, so here's the question that I had. And, you know, we had the Super Bowl announcement this week and all the stuff. We talked about all the great things that have come here. Why is Nashville never mentioned for a PGA stop?
That's a great question.
Never. I mean, I'm telling you, there might be little rumblings here and there. I know we had Live Golf 2 years ago. A few things, but when's the last PGA, not senior, not women, but the last PGA tour that came through? I know they had the U.S. Open in 1980 at Richland Country Club, but Nashville's never mentioned for a PGA stop, and I want to know why.
The U.S. Open's been played here?
Yeah, 1980. I
didn't
wasn't living
know
here then. I just remember it was played in 1980 here. But yeah, we're never mentioned for a PGA stop, and I don't know why.
Well, I know that like Robbie Stanley's brought it up of, you know, that's one of the next big events that he wants to see here. I agree with you. It's just, where would you do it? And it's the infrastructure that you need.
Oh, it's not like I don't have 37 golf courses to do it. I mean, you could do it. I mean, I was at Hermitage yesterday. You could do auxiliary parking and get it in. They've had it before. I'm just curious.
Well, would Opryland kind of be, you know, the ideal spot?
That's where they did the senior tour over at Gaylord Springs, and it's a fine event, fine, good times and everything. But Nashville's never. I mean, everything like, oh, we're going to bring ice skating here. We're going to bring the They've all been here: gymnastics, ice skating, NHL draft. I mean, on and on and on. But the PGA's never mentioned of coming to Nashville. Is it because St. Jude in Memphis has got a tournament? I don't know.
No,
Dr. Crane seems to think so, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but I think, I think you could do it in both. There's no reason why.
Right. No, if we're the it city, everything's happening here. What does PGA know that we don't know? Yeah. That's
I don't know.
Yeah, you figure that stuff out there. I'm just curious because it's never ever mentioned at all about coming here and getting an event here. I mean, there's plenty of golf courses around that they could play it in, but I just want to know why. Why not? Nobody, even though the day at the Super Bowl announcement, it was not a big like, oh no. I was like, hey, why can't it come here? Right? It's crazy.
Dylan in Antioch says, what I've heard is there isn't a course long enough. There's good enough, but not long enough. Has to be 7,200 yards.
See, I didn't know that, but all right, you could fix that in an off season, can't you?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Skylar says Kid Rock and Justin Timberlake are building a badass golf course beside his house in Northwest Nashville, the Whites Creek area. PGA will be there. They come, they'll tour all the time.
Okay. So 9947, there's a mention of a PGA stop here earlier this week. I didn't hear that. They're talking about adding events to next season. Nashville was on the short list. I think they'd already had a plan in place by now. Nashville doesn't do anything half-ass. They would already have a plan of getting in there. I don't know. I don't know. Would I go? Probably not. But I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool for the city. It'd be cool for the area to come in. And, you know, the Live Golf was packed. We were out there. It was packed.
Right. Our buddy Greg Pogue said there are only a handful of courses that would meet PGA standards around here. That's what I've always heard.
Well, really? The Titans' new stadium doesn't meet the Super Bowl attendance requirement, right? Don't you have to have like 72,000? Or they dropped that?
Supposedly.
They changed
I don't know.
that because Miami's out of the running for that now. You were the one that brought it up to me.
Well, I just think, will they drop it to? Or would they bring it up to? I don't know. But Nashville, the seats at Nissan Stadium did not fit the criteria at the time for the Super Bowl, how many people need to be in the stadium. So I don't know what all that entails, but evidently it doesn't matter.
So what's kind of been the reaction this week to the Super Bowl?
Good. And then people start figuring out that they can't afford it. And then it's like, oh, this will be great for the city. I can't go.
Right.
That was kind of the thing that the other day was like, oh, this is great. And like, what? $3,500 and it's refundable, but I'm not going to get my ticket. Is there a lottery? Nobody knows how to do that. And then it's a lot of money, man. And you get 3.5 years. I get that. But that was kind of the thing with being said, like, okay, well, wow, that's a lot of money. Can we go? And so I think it's great for the city. People are still excited, but that's the people were talking to me, and that's kind of the feeling I got about all that.
So what do you think the next announcement is? Super Bowl, WrestleMania? Because we've heard that rumor.
I think it'll be a while. I think they'll want to soak in the Super Bowl for a while, and then it's got to be WrestleMania, right? In 28?
Yeah, I would think so. You were at that press conference?
I was.
It seemed like it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to realize that Jim Nance is a native Nashvilleian. He dropped. Oh man, don't get me started, Jim. I know you're listening. I love you, but this whole we and us. He just moved here. We've been a city that's been, on the move for a long time. I'm like, you just moved here, right? Let us bask in this glory for a little bit. All the natives that are here. But no, it was fun. And that's another question to ask. And Dr. Crane, and I want to get your opinion on this. Was that the biggest announcement in Nashville history? Sports, news, and everything. And I say no. I say the Oilers coming here.
Yeah.
Because if the Oilers don't come here, you don't have the Super Bowl here.
Yeah.
So the Oilers, even though the Super Bowl announcement's huge, the Oilers thing is still a little bit bigger because that led to the Super Bowl being here. Now I know Oracle and Nissan moving here and Bridgestone. I get all those are massive announcements, but the Super Bowl announcement, and then I still think the Oilers is the biggest thing that's ever been announced in this town.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And supposedly like 30 something years ago today is when Bud Adams called Phil Bredesen.
Be 31. Because remember, they met. McLean's told us this story. The Oilers played the Redskins at Neyland Stadium in August of 95. And that's when the ball got rolling.
Yep.
So that's according to our buddy John McLean on a excerpt of Nick Cesario's book. But he talked the inside joke. But he said that was August of 95 when the Oilers and the Redskins met at Neyland Stadium. That's when it kind of the ball got rolling. According to John McClain.
Yeah. Well.
Yep.
What chapter is that book?
Every chapter. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Romans, and then Nick.
Something like that.
Man.
Boys, I am I've given it all I got today.
Okay. Please. All right.
No, I'm good. But I keep getting choked up. So I'm gonna let you guys handle it the rest of the week.
All right, pal.
And
get better, man. We'll see you Tuesday at Social Cantina.
I will be there Tuesday, ready to go.
All right, buddy. Take care, man.
All right. See you guys.
Chaser.
Chase out. So Dr. Chris, it's you and me, buddy. Gonna ride this bad boy out to 3:00 today.
Oh boy.
We'll get a lot of other things that are happening. Again, I mean, that's the whole PGA thing. And then I'm just curious. Everybody's weighing in on it. We'll talk more about that next. What else would you like to see come to Nashville? I mean, there's a lot of things out there on the horizon that could be coming here. And then now you got the stadium. Do anything you want, man. Get it done. All right, back with more. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5 The Game. All right. Welcome back to the Chasing Big Joe show. Got you till 3 o'clock today. It's funny. There's some, it's about half and half on the text line. Nobody cares about golf coming here.
I have a little thought about that.
Yeah.
So you overlooked, the Corn Ferry Tour. That's been played here. The
Not
Simmons
PGA. It's not a PGA event. You keep bringing Corn Ferry up.
It's
not a
somewhat involved with the PGA. It's
but
where all
it's
the
not a
amateurs
PGA.
play.
All right. Would you say the Nashville Sounds are Major League Baseball?
They're affiliated to Major League
I know.
Baseball.
It's not answer the question there.
They're affiliated to Major League Baseball.
I mean, I can have the court reporter read back to what you just said.
The Corn Ferry Tour is affiliated with the Professional Golf Association.
Okay. I'm affiliated with ESPN Radio. Doesn't mean I'm not on ESPN in Bristol.
That's fair.
Go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, that to me is the taste tester to what could be in Nashville. And obviously, yes, there are limited golf courses to where you could host this. Gaylord Opryland, I'm not sure if that's enough. I think the Legends, Vanderbilt's home course, that now I think is the most pristine course in Nashville that you could probably go to if you're trying to keep it in that Nashville area, Middle Tennessee area.
Okay.
That's the only one that comes to mind.
All right.
I mean, Hermitage is one of the nicer golf courses, but yet I don't think the yardage is substantial enough.
Why don't you get out there and get some more yardage then, pal? Tough guy.
That's what she said.
But do you have the Tennessee drop ready for me?
I love Tennessee.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm indifferent. I mean, I like cool things coming to town. I'm not, like I golfed yesterday. And usually when you go to a scramble, it's like they've double book on every hole and it takes 8 hours. Yesterday it was one foursome for every hole, which is the best. Oh, God.
That's what she said.
Just teed it right on up, just like that golf ball on hole number 3. But overall, though, Joe, like if you think about it, come December when Live Golf,
Hold on. I haven't seen you move that fast back there to press a button in 3 years.
Well, I knew it was going to happen, so I just ready to press it.
Gosh, I hate you. I
hang out with you guys way too much.
What was a crazy thought you had? What were you saying?
Well, it's not a crazy thought. It's a logical thought. If you're PGA, you could really capitalize on the opportunity. I mean, right now, PGA has developed a lot of young golfers from the Corn Ferry Tour and even, some amateurs that are playing in college.
Right.
That, you have the Live Golf. They do their own thing. You have guys like Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia. Even Brooks Koepka got out of his contract with Live and now is back in PGA. Then you look at, other golfers like John Rahm, who was world number 1 at one point. You see them play all in all the major tournaments right now because that's obviously the stipulation.
Right.
But when Live Golf dissipates into thin air, you're going to have all these golfers that have no place to play, what league they want to. PGA is saying right now, we've already developed our own talent. Why should we take you guys back?
Yeah.
So if you're PGA,
right,
use Nashville as that catapulting point to say, look, we're doing a merger back again, bringing back all these golfers. Let's kick it off in Nashville. Let's do this in Nashville. And I know that Live Golf hosted an event at College Grove. What was that, 2-3 years ago?
2 years ago.
Because you guys had on Taylor Gooch and
Daryl Gooch.
No. Somebody else. I forget
we had the governor.
golfer.
We had the mayor of Knoxville.
That too. Yeah. Had Kane on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good things with Nashville. It's just finding the right golf course. And I think if you're PGA, you see how these former golfers would live that will eventually come back to PGA. If they find a spot for them, have it happen in Nashville. That's where you can really capitalize on the opportunity.
I just think it'd be a win-win. I mean, you could, again, bring the star power in and then have everybody be a part of it and name Vince Gill chairman, and then you're good, right? I mean, you're solid.
Yeah. I think Vince would love to be a part of it.
I'm going to call him up during the break. See what he says. No, I'm not kidding. Do that.
Hey, Joe.
No, I'm not good. But I don't know. It would be, it'd be fun. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
So last night, I watched the Colbert farewell show. Okay. Well done. I'm not a fan of him. I've never laughed, whatever. It means nothing. But it was a good show, right? And so his last guest was Paul McCartney, right? If you could have anybody come in and doing your last show here, who would you want? You can't have anybody.
That's really tough.
I'm getting Joe Namath.
We're talking sports figure, or just anybody.
Anybody. I'm getting Joe Namath. I've always wanted to sit down and talk to Joe Namath. It'd be a great final show for me.
I'll probably go with. Can I go with 2 people? Or just one?
Well, sure.
Okay. One person, I'll go Joe Buck. That'd be the one person I'd like to go.
Why
you know.
Joe Buck?
He's just knowledgeable. He's got all that baseball history. He's a multi-sport broadcaster. Actually, I redact that. I take it back. Mike Tirico. That's a guy that has been put into every seat on planet Earth when it comes to sports. He's been involved with the Kentucky Derby. He's been involved with the Olympics.
Yep.
He's done basketball.
He's done everything.
He's done everything. And to be that, immersed into each sport and to have all that knowledge, I think is just something fascinating to me to listen to and just to grow more. Like osmosis. You sit in the room.
Who's he?
It's a word. You learn kind of just in the building. So I think that'd be something pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Who's number 2?
Number 2, I was going to go with an actual sports athlete, Albert Pujols. That'd be pretty neat.
Okay, so Joe Buck and Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
Your final guess. I need to come up with another one. Maybe Howie Long.
Mike Tirico. I redact the Joe Buck. Yeah.
All right. Off of that, which is what we usually do on the show, why doesn't Sean McDonough get more love?
That's a great question.
I was listening to him call the hockey game the other night. I think it was Buffalo and Montreal. He's fantastic. And I've heard some have said he's a complete jerk, and we're all jerks, right? So that doesn't bother me at all. But I'm telling you, Sean McDonough is so vastly underrated. College football, hockey. I mean, he's so good.
He's done a lot of things that people forget. Oh, wait, that's Sean McDonough on the call? Like that's what you have when you listen to him on TV. You're like, that's Sean McDonough. Holy cow. And wasn't he an NSMA nomination award winner, last fall?
What is that?
It's like the National Sports.
I think he won it.
Yeah, that's right. He did win it.
I think he won. Do you know H.I. McDonough?
No.
Okay. He's just as good as Sean McDonough. Different kind of area. He's trying to be a good dad, H.I. McDonough. But no, Sean McDonough is, I just think he's really, really good. I mean, there was the other night, they were at the hockey game. There was, all the players and the puck was going everywhere which way. And it's just, I didn't have to see the screen to know what he was talking about. He was that good, right? I've always said that about a movie. If you could tell them what a movie's about with the volume down, that's an amazing movie for me.
What was that movie? I'm sorry.
If you can watch a movie and understand it with the volume down, I think that's powerful.
Oh, 100%. It goes to show you the description on the screen speaks for the words.
Yeah, it's powerful. So I don't know, man. I just think that is it's a crazy thing. How you doing back there?
Fantastic. Just answered a few phone calls. We're good.
Okay. Everybody doing good? Are we giving away anything today?
New.
Okay. All right.
That I know of. I can double check for you.
Just free knowledge of what life is and what things are about and everything else that goes on. We have plenty of that.
Joe, what's our question today? Just FYI.
Well, we had a couple of them out there today. It's like Memorial Day. We'll give a shout out to somebody in your family that's no longer here that served in the military, because it's about Memorial Day and it's about them. And I said earlier that a soldier dies twice: once when he or she physically dies, and second when we stop telling their stories. So maybe we never stop telling their stories. That's what it's about. That's always, and this is a platform to do that. And praise the Lord and praise those who gave all for their country. That's Memorial Day.
You have anybody to honor?
Huh?
You have anyone to honor from your family?
My uncle, he passed away in 1950. I didn't know him. He was 19 years. That's the story about all the young men coming back from Air Force training in Myrtle Beach in a plane crash, and 32 high school seniors here in Nashville all perished in a plane. I've written about it many times.
Yeah, you've posted about it. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. I never knew him, but he passed away. That's the whole thing. Could you imagine today a plane coming back with 32 high school seniors in Nashville perish? And I remember my mom telling me that she was 12 years old at the time, that Nashville was hurting in a way that she could never comprehend again, because remember, you got 32 funerals around Nashville taking place within a week of each other. 32. And it's crazy. Like I've run into a gentleman that went to high school, was my uncle's best friend. He's 96 now. And he remembered it vividly. Like the city was just stunned. And that's no social media, really no TV at the time. And so that's the one for me. And I never knew my uncle. He's buried next to my mom, but it was something, man. I hope that never Never happens again. You?
Yeah, my dad's side, my grandmother and grandfather, like you with your uncle. I never got to meet my grandfather. He had died of colon cancer. So he served in, I believe, the Navy and was a part of the Frozen Chosen. From what my uncle has told me, it was a part of the Korean War.
Oh,
And they lost like 25,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
And he, I guess, was a part of all that. But he didn't die in service. He came back and obviously was in good standings and so forth. My grandmother, on the other hand, which is my dad's mom, she was part of the Air Force as a doctor, as a nurse. So it's
did you
pretty.
get to know her?
I did, yeah. It was my granny sis. I got to meet her a handful of times. And she kept me when I was like 3-4 years old, and then she passed away when she was like, I think, 89, maybe. I have to double check on that number, but she passed away to mental illness. So
Sorry about that.
dementia.
So that's kind of our question of the day. Another thing, we're just hanging out. It's Friday, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's listening. People on
Unwind
the
a little
road,
bit.
just call and talk to us. Well, anything.
Yesterday my question of the day was, where's the best hidden vacation spot? And that it took off. there were so many guests, I couldn't really get to all of them.
What was the number one?
The number one was TPC Sawgrass, which was in Florida. That's where golf, speaking of golf earlier, that's where they host the Players Championship. So they have a secluded beach and
nice
private. And I was like, that's nice. Some guy said on the text line about, I don't really recall the name of the place, but it was in the mountains. And he goes, there's no cell service. And I just remember from that text, I was like, that's a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing to you're, tapping out away from the world. Bad thing is if you're, trying to hurt somebody, that's another place you just don't want to be.
What the hell does that mean?
Just saying, no cell service. Trying to ask for help. That'd be a bad place to be.
Well, what did you do in the 80s?
It's a good point.
I mean,
I wasn't alive in the 80s, so you tell me.
I would break down the interstate in my awesome car and I'd walk for miles.
Hang your thumb out on the side of the road?
No, I'm not getting picked up some weirdo hitchhiker who's going to kill me. I'm not doing that. I'd walk for miles to a payphone and pray that my mother or brother were around.
Wow.
I broke down many times on the interstate. I mean, so it's just the whole, I don't have cell service. Yeah, it's great, but we grew up with none of that stuff,
It's fair.
And he's like, hey, Mom, call me back. I'm at this stop. I'm down in Bucksnort at this gas station. Here's the number.
On the corner of this, and this.
Yeah. And then, Mom's always call it right. They know. And so she'd always.
It's a mother's intuition.
Right. They find me.
The signal goes off in their head. They go to find you.
Right.
Like, wow.
That was bad fast signal. What about our boy, Kentucky Lake? Mike, right? There's a nice vacation spot up there.
We still got to go up there and fish with him. He invited us to fish multiple times. We got to take him up on that.
Are you a good fisherman?
For the most part, yeah.
Could you be one of the apostles? Are you that good of a fisherman?
I don't know about that. I can't feed a whole village.
You don't have to.
I know. I'm just saying.
The good Lord takes care of that for you.
I know.
I can't fish to say I'd have to. I told you this. I'd be the worst pioneer ever. I would die in a day because I don't know how to cook or eat or anything.
You'd be fine.
I'd probably eat poisonous berries and die.
Just don't eat anything off the.
I'm not doing your dumb fast for 3 days and drink nothing but water.
The water fast, dude. Just boil water. You'll be fine.
Okay. You got me a grill to boil the water? What I need now? Light a pot.
You make a fire with a little bit of some wood, and then you light it up, and you just have a little bowl above it with some water in it, and then you let it boil up, and there goes all the bacteria.
Should I watch Castaway again?
Sure.
That's what I need to do. All right, we're late for a break, buddy. All right, this is Chasing Big Joe Show, brought to you by the Omni National Hotel, 125 The Game. All right, guys, Big Joe here. Listen, we talk about this all the time. That's mental health for our guys out there. And we always say, if you are struggling, please go talk to somebody. That's why we're just so honored to be partnering with UnityCares.com. UnityCares.com is the one place to go to get you back living the life you deserve. I say it every single show, every single day. Therapy, going to therapy and talking changed my life. And look, if it could change somebody like me, it can change somebody like you as well. Just go to the website. Everything you need to know is on that website. Where to start, how to begin, how to pay for it, who to talk to. And here's the best part. UnityCares.com is based right here in Middle Tennessee, not some faraway place. They're based right here in Middle Tennessee. When you go there, when you go to therapy, it's private, it's secure, it's confidential, and they offer telehealth. Nobody's got to know that you're doing it, but you will feel so much better. And again, their whole goal is getting you back to living the life you deserve. And here's the best part. You don't have to go through any of this alone. You don't have to go through any of it alone. And listen, if you're a loved one and notices your loved one is hurting and going through a few things, sit down with them, talk to them. Go to, again, the webpage, unitycares.com, and see how they can help you get back to living that life you deserve. We tell you all the time, our world's a better place because you are here, and we mean that. And it all begins at unitycares.com. Visit them today, unitycares.com. All right, welcome back to the Chasing Big Joe show. I'm just reading this, and I find it funny that college football, the incident on ESPN.com, NCAA opened an Ole Miss tampering probe after a Clemson complaint. The NCAA enforcement staff opened an investigation of Ole Miss football program the same day that Clemson coach Dabo Swinney accused Rebels coach Pete Golding of tampering with linebacker Luke Farrelly. This is I mean, look, did they not know this is going to happen? I mean, it's happening everywhere.
It's all over the United States.
I mean, it's for college football. I mean, it's tampering. According to documents obtained by ESPN through an open records request, NCAA Associate Director of Enforcement, another tough title, Scott McDonald emailed Ole Miss Senior Associate Athletics Director. Good, listen to this title: Senior Associate Athletics Director for Compliance, Taylor Hall, back in January, a couple of hours before a news conference, which Swinney blasted Golding for allegedly tampering with Farrelly, who enrolled at Clemson after transferring from California before then leaving for Ole Miss. That's the problem.
What's the title of that again? For that job?
Senior Associate Athletics Director for Compliance.
That's a money embezzlement job. That ain't a job title.
Taylor Hall. He enrolled at Clemson after transferring from California before leaving for Ole Miss. This is just, I mean, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And yet they're all tampering, right? Head coaches aren't going to make that call. Somebody on this, maybe not on the staff, but somebody's going to make that phone call to Nick Frazier and say, hey, man, you ever thought about Rayon City Community College? I mean, it's going to happen all the time.
Is it free?
Yes, it is free.
Yes.
If you'd like to go. This has been for you, right? I mean, it's at all levels of college.
Well,
yesterday,
I mean, yesterday Cruz and I were discussing the like whole NIL issue with the money that's like frozen. It's like $125+ million that's frozen with NIL funds. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm still trying to grasp the whole subject of the conversation, but the SCORE Act that's involved with the legislation and the House and all that, they're saying that trying to either, if they get rid of it, you'll end up having like a breakaway league for college athletics, especially college football.
Okay.
So it just makes you wonder if that's happening, then all this tampering in the background is happening. Like there's too much going on to where they're not focusing on the main goal, and that's trying to fix the structure of all this.
They're never going to fix it because the goalposts keep changing every single day on all this. So
do you think a breakaway league would solve some of these problems?
I'm not watching a breakaway league. I'm not watching a breakaway league. I'm not doing it.
Well, like, to be fair, if the SEC and the Big Ten end up becoming like a small NFL, and then you supplement some of those out of conference games or out of division games with the ACC and the Big 12, like they would somewhat be a part of this breakaway league. They'd just be looked at as the like little brother. If that makes sense.
Yeah. House divided can't stand.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been able to ruin college football, at least for a lot of this. And then expanding the playoff situation, they just can't leave well alone because everybody want to get in there and then like, hey, made the playoff, or and then you get beat 74-0 and like, well, made the playoff though. You never had a chance. It's just driving me crazy. Maybe I shouldn't care. Maybe I just shouldn't care, right? But I love college football in every shape, form, or fashion. Love it.
Now I see why Nick Saban got out of this.
Damn straight.
It makes complete sense now.
He knew he wasn't going to play this game. I mean, it's a frustrating game, at least for the coaches I talk to all the time. It's a frustrating thing that's going on now.
And
I know they get paid millions. Nobody gives a rat's ass how they're stressed out and all that. But it's just, and that's why there's no more. I'm sorry, real quick. There's no more like if a team loses to one team really bad, well, hey, next year we're going to get you. 2/3 of that team's gone. They don't remember what happened last year. And the third that's left, hell, they're trying to get out of there too. So they don't remember that stuff. It's not the same. And we need to embrace it. It's not the same.
Yeah. It's just a different landscape for sure. What I was going to mention is like going back to the Rose Bowl when Kirk Herbstreit and that entire College Game Day cast was on the television. I remember he specifically went out of his way to say, this guy sitting to the right of me, which is Nick Saban, should be the president of college football. And he looked at him like, what are you talking about? I have a little bit of an issue with that because that's the reason why he got out. He doesn't want to be a part of any of this.
No.
So the fact that you're kind of delegating it for him to be the guy,
right?
I think it's just a little bit malpractice.
In 2014, they had a committee because they had started the college football playoff. It was 4 teams. The BCS ended in 2013, and they had 12 members. You probably don't remember this. Who was the first member to get out and said, "Oh, I'm busy with other things. I can't, I can't give my full effort," because he knew, this gentleman knew that he was going to get berated and yelled at and screamed at because it's because somebody told me years ago, don't be a judge in a Miss Tennessee pageant. So one year I was a judge for Miss Tennessee, right? After the pageant contest, I got accosted in the parking lot. Like, why didn't you vote for my daughter? Why didn't you vote for my daughter? And I'm like, am I being punked? Is there a camera around here? Then I realized it was real. And I'm like, all right, I will absolutely fight you right now over this. You're not going to threaten me. And somebody said, don't judge beauty contests because it happens. This man got out of the college football playoff committee because he knew what was coming. You know who that man was?
Who's that?
Archie Manning.
Really?
Got out. Brilliant move because that committee just gets berated and yelled at and chastised and scum of the earth and all every year. Our good friend Chris Massaro's on the committee now, right? I can only imagine the what's the word?
The conversations?
No, the vermin that yell at him, just go crazy on
vermin.
him.
Yep.
Vermin. I mean, couldn't imagine. And Archie Manning knew, being on that committee, that was going to happen. So I was like, good for you, man. Get off that committee. And I get it's a good thing, and you think you're doing it, and they do a great job despite the circumstances. I understand all that, but man, oh man, I want no part of that. All right, we'll come back with the third hour on this Friday before Memorial Day weekend. Our question of the day is, if you want us to shout out to somebody that served in the military that's no longer with us, please let us know. We'd love to do that. 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show, 1025 The Game. All right, welcome back to hour number 3 of the Chase and Big Joe show right here at the on 102.5 The Game, brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel. All right, so this happened yesterday, and I saw it, and everybody's like, oh, this is so great. Lane Kiffin bringing back Ed Orgeron to LSU. And let me go on a little rant here for a second, all right? I think Orgeron, he's funny, and y'all love him and everything. What he did when Lane Kiffin left Tennessee in January of 2010, if you're a Tennessee fan, you should forever hate this guy. And I don't use the word hate a lot, but when Kiffin left that night, the next day was the first day of school, spring semester in Tennessee. Back then, and I think it's still true now, if you go to class that day, you can't leave. Can't transfer out in mid-February. I mean, that counts toward the clock is ticking, right? Ed Orgeron spent all night, this is when he was coaching in Knoxville, Kiffin had left to go to USC, at his apartment in Knoxville, calling every single recruit to not go to class the next day. Do not go to class. Every one of them. And he allegedly denied it, and all the kids like, yeah, Coach Orgeron called me and told me not to go to class. Trying to derail your program to not go to class the next day. I think Ed Orgeron is everything that's wrong about college football. And y'all can love him. He won a national title in 2019. He didn't do jack down there. He had just had the best team loaded, got together. I mean, Burrow and Jefferson and Jamar Chase, on and on and on and on and on. I get all that. I understand all that. But they ran his ass out of town. Ole Miss ran him out of town. Everywhere he's been run out of town. When he was a G8, Miami, everywhere he's been ran out of town. So when I see this love for him, like, oh, Coach O, no, go Tigers, blah, blah, blah. Can't stand him. Tried to derail a program by calling young men not go to class. And y'all love him. And I don't get it. I'm like, oh, you forgive and forget. I get all that. But he tried to derail your program, which is almost unforgivable.
I mean, I see that. But if you think about it, back then when NIL wasn't really a huge factor, it was a lot of those, like we talk about with Jeremy Pruitt.
Oh, kids were getting paid.
The McDonald bags, yes,
yeah,
for sure. But I think if you look at it from a different perspective or a different lens, that was the cutting edge way of making sure you could get somewhere else, if that makes sense.
Sure. If you go to class, you can't leave. I mean, you enroll. I mean, so they gave you this garbage about student athletes. They do give a rat's ass about the student part of that. A few do, right? A few do. Vanderbilt, I'm sure does. I'm sure there's some at Tennessee. All the schools, they give a little bit about that. But I just think that was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Then I see he's back. Why is he back? LSU paid him millions to get the hell out of town. Now why is he back? Right? Because he can't stay away from the spotlight or whatever. I think when I saw that yesterday, I'm like, oh, here we go. And all the love, Coach O's back. I was like, get out of here.
So his official title, it says Special Assistant to Recruiting and Defense.
Oh, my God.
On Lane Kiffin's new staff. It's a contract for a 1-year deal worth $100,000.
You paid him millions.
Here's the responsibilities.
All right.
Orgeron is heavily focused on bolstering recruiting, specifically within the state of Louisiana and nationally. Thanks to the NCAA rule change, he is permitted to go out on the road to recruit and coach on the sidelines during games. And then it says here, the reunion tour with Lane Kiffin and Ed Orgeron pairs them once again. The two have a long-standing working relationship dating back to their time as assistant coaches at USC under Pete Carroll.
Yeah, way back, all that. And we did a what if. We're going to do a what if one day, and we forgot. We got busy something else about what would have happened, the what if Lane Kiffin would have stayed in Knoxville. I'm telling you, he had carte blanche up there in Knoxville. Things that happened after he left, the rumors and all the things, and like I think his brother-in-law got in trouble. I mean, I'm trying to be careful with my words here.
Yeah.
Other people got in trouble and things are going. I mean, the death penalty will never happen again in college athletics. Never, 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 never. Because it's far reach, because there's a lot of people that work for a university that because of a football program get paid. I mean, SMU went through that, and it'll never happen again. So I'm not saying they got the death penalty, but Tennessee, he would have been, because he says he's changed now, and that was 2009. And I covered him in 2009, and it was okay. But then the stories and the allegations, everything that happened, and I think Tennessee would have been probation for, and I mean, Dooley was terrible. By the way, Derek Dooley got crushed in the Senate campaign to be senator of Georgia. Then he lost by like 25 points, which is typical Derek Dooley. If you said how much you're going to lose by, I said probably 24. Derek Dooley. So it would, but I think Tennessee would have suffered dramatically for years. I know they did. They had Dooley, then Butch Jones came in, then Pruitt. I mean, it's not like they had the Hall of Fame coaches that came through Knoxville during that time. And now that's why people yelp about Heupel. I'm like, graduating players, they're competitive. I mean, they're okay, right? It could be far worse. Tennessee fans have seen far worse between Kiffin, Dooley, and Butchie. I mean, it was pretty bad, and then Pruitt and all that. But I think Kiffin would have destroyed and derailed that program.
Now, I'm going to take a page out of your book. Let me ask you this. When it comes to Ed Orgeron and the $100,000 salary that he has,
yeah,
do you believe, would you assume in this case, each recruit he brings in from that, I guess, recruiting trail that he's starting to build there at LSU, he gets an incentive off that? Out of each recruit that commits, you think
probably
an incentive?
Probably, but didn't they pay him like $18 million to go away? I mean, it might be more than that. They paid his buyout. Like, we're tired of you. And then they hired Brian Kelly that came in there in 22, I think it was.
$17.1 million for a fully fulfilled buyout for the one and only Ed Orgeron.
And then he's got the joke where they like, they came in and said, we're going to pay you $17 million. He's like, what door am I going to do?
Which door you want me to go out of?
Yeah, right. Go over and go Tigers. Which is, so I'm paying you till now we're brought back. It's just,
I think
they're such a hypocrite all the way.
They're paying him $100,000 just to say "Go Tigers." Honestly, that's what it seems like.
To walk around, it's like when they hire former boxers to be greeters at casinos, probably because they're in debt. They can do that, but I mean, it's fine. It's all good. But lavishing praise on this jackass is beyond me.
Plus the stuff that he did behind scenes, not with the football team.
Beyond, exactly. I just remember at Tennessee calling every single recruit, don't go to class.
And to your point about that 2019 national championship, run.
Yeah.
That was like the very beginning stages of NIL. So there was probably no real restrictions to the NIL, say trajectory of all that. So you have Ed Orgeron who's going to abuse that as well. So that's probably why they had so much success and they were loaded. Now you look at it, yes, there's a little bit less of I'd say, friction on the NIL spectrum when it comes to bringing in players. But, Ed Orgeron definitely capitalized on it when he had the chance.
Yeah, he did. And that's the whole thing. And, like, we want you back. I think he's just everything to me wrong with college football. And that's like, it goes back to when Heupel, when Pruitt was gone and some Tennessee fans wanted Kiffin to come back up. I'm like, why would you want this guy? It broke your heart once. Why would you want him back? And you saw what he did to Ole Miss. I mean, think about that. He left Ole Miss right before the College Football Playoff. Right, it got to where you needed to go.
And it was so petty that LSU said, every time Ole Miss wins, we're going to pay that coach.
Yeah, right.
I mean, how petty is that?
It's right. And then he concocts some story, I don't know if it's still true or not, about I couldn't recruit players to Oxford and all that. And then somebody, this was interesting, I forget who it was, did the murder rate in Oxford and Baton Rouge. And it was like, I don't know, over a 2-year time period, like 59 murders in Baton Rouge, 0 in Oxford. And it's like, you're basically telling me that Oxford's a bad place to be, and it's not. I mean, it's just, so he just keeps on. And now with Orgeron being there and on and on, I just had to get that off my chest because he's not good. He's not good for college football.
Yeah. I mean, he stirs the storylines, and that's what a lot of these TV and papers want. They want storylines for people to read all that. Kiffin is that. He drives every bit of those storylines. And I remember that one caller that played at Mississippi State from 92 to 95, I believe it was Nate. He said he was called stuff even worse, not even in Oxford. It was like Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
And Knoxville. Yeah, right.
Like, for the fact to say that, Lane Kiffin is saying it's hard to recruit in Oxford, Mississippi.
Right.
No. Can't get on board with that.
No, and I heard Jake talk today about the Ole Miss LSU game. I mean, the ticket prices and everything, and September the 19th. It's going to be something. Because he's pissed off a lot of Ole Miss people.
I believe that's a 6:30 ABC game, if I was reading that
Ooh.
correctly.
So that gives them all day to drink in the.
Enjoy a couple of adult beverages. There you go.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel on 102.5 The Game. All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe Show right here on 102.5 The Game, brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel. Chase is off this afternoon. Dr. Crane with me. So, Dr. Crane, do you know that 39 years ago today, one of the greatest movies of all time, filmed in Tennessee, was released? It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you think, and make you a better person. You know what movie that was?
Just a wild guess. One of those Ernest movies.
First of all, I'm not a fan of your tone.
I know where this is going, and it frustrates me.
Ernest Goes to Camp.
I will respectfully say it must be a great 6 movie collection.
Okay, that's fine. But Ernest Goes to Camp, filmed here in Tennessee 39 years ago today.
White Bluff, is that correct?
No, yeah, maybe somewhere over there, Dixon. Oh, but it filmed here in Middle Tennessee area.
Okay.
So you'll apologize for that tone.
I said I apologize.
Okay.
I respect the movie collection, but if we're going back to our conversation on Monday or Tuesday, it doesn't beat out the best trilogy on planet Earth.
And that is
The Godfather.
crazy. Michael Corleone could not have bought Ernest. No matter what, he couldn't have done it. Ernest could not be tempted by Michael Corleone's money. Couldn't do it.
Minus
happen.
the mobster storyline of it all, that movie exemplifies every bit of the American dream. Come to America for a better life, the right way, and having a beautiful family to enjoy one of the greatest countries on planet Earth. I think it just is fantastic.
It's a good movie. Let me ask you a question. You seen Ace Ventura, Pet Detective?
Yeah.
Is that a football movie?
No.
I think it is.
You think it is?
Dan Marino, Super Bowl, kidnapped,
Yeah, but how much of that is
Dolphins.
How much of that is on the field, though?
It's still. I mean, the Dolphins didn't have Dan Marino go to the Super Bowl.
So if you were to go to an old school Hollywood video and walk down the aisle and go, I'm looking at sports movies, and you see Ace Ventura, Pet Detective in between Remember the Titans and Little Giants,
Yeah.
you're going to say it belongs in a movie category that
Damn
way?
straight I am. Damn straight. I'm going to say Ace Ventura belongs in the sports section.
What's wrong with you?
It's about Dan Marino. Dan Marino gets kidnapped
Look,
by
I know-
Ray Finkel.
I know you have a soft spot for Dan Marino, but come on, man.
It is. Also, the debate we had today about Rocky, is that a sports movie or a love story? And I said it's a love story. And y'all were all like, and then Jim White said, no, that's nothing but a sports movie. I hung up on Jim that day. Apologize to him. But like Rocky is a love story. Rocky is the greatest love story cinema version of all time. It is. It's a great boxing story. I get all that. But at the core, Rocky is a love story.
What makes it a love story? Is it the music that is the bed underneath each of those, I
No.
guess, coming of
Who's he trying to win?
Adrian?
Adrian, right? I mean, he's trying to beat Apollo Creed. I get all that. But he's doing all this for Adrian. Rocky is a love story. And it evolved. 2, 3 were about love, about Adrian, about, and then the money and the talk on the beach where she just gives it to him. I mean, that's just great cinema.
I can see where you're coming at with that perspective, because when his coach Mick, passes away,
Mickey,
excuse me, and then Paulie passes away in what, Rocky 2?
No, Paulie was around maybe 5.
Rocky 4, okay,
5. I
4,
don't know,
5.
one of those.
So all those little, I'll call them side quest in this storyline. All that was to, lead up to the Adrian, the golden goose of this storyline.
Yeah, that's why Rocky is the greatest love story of all time. And they could say what you want, but it's the greatest love story of all time, cinema-wise. It's a great boxing movie.
Okay.
All that. Hey, I saw Will Levis was at practice the other day.
Yes.
How did he go? I didn't see or hear anything about it. Saw a picture of it.
I didn't see anything either, but I heard he threw a pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Ouch.
Yeah. I also saw something funny on Twitter last night. Somebody said Hellman's has seed oil in it, so someone said he's gone.
Oh my God. The seed oil thing. Now I think it's genius. I think Robert Sala's got money in the seed oil business.
Maybe.
Because now everybody's like, I had no idea. I've heard of it. I'm like, all right, why is this bad? And then I look and say, oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of omega-6 fatty acids in seed oil, and it also can, if you eliminate it from your diet, it can reduce inflammation. I think that's the big component to this, is the inflammation part of it. Because when players are, and again, I sent you a text earlier about Cam Ward, and everybody's talking about how he's lost 10 pounds. Even Chris Sanders said it earlier in hour number 2, saying that he looks like he's, what do you say? he's more shiftier in the pocket, more smooth. Is that the way he described it?
Yeah.
More smooth in and out of the pocket, which is probably right because just when you lose 10 pounds, and I know this from experience, and you know it from experience, your knees, for me, my knees feel fantastic. Like I feel like I'm a new person. Oh, why are you smirking like that?
I just keep going, man. I love your.
Do I sound like I'm an 85-year-old man?
No, this Ginny Craig testimonial. I'm loving this. Keep going.
I'm just saying, like when you have, all this excess weight, your joints start to feel it, especially from the lower half down. You're just like, all right, I think it's time to maybe drop a few lbs. And when you do, you feel like a new person.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Is you consider Patrick Mahomes a scrambling quarterback?
Kind of.
Who's a more scrambler, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes?
Josh Allen.
See, I think that's a running quarterback. I don't think he's a scrambler. I think it's a running quarterback.
You make a good point
I
here.
have this debate in my head all the time. I'm like, all right, is he a runner? Is he a scrambler? Because I think Mahomes is a scrambler.
Well, Mahomes does that like speed walk run and gets like 25 yards. I don't know how he does it. He's just like,
right.
He does that little weird run thing. I don't know. But Josh Allen has more of like a true runner stride. So I get where you're coming at with that.
Right. So is Cam Ward I've told you what I thought about Cam Ward. If I see a design run play for Cam Ward, I'm taking a bullhorn at Nissan Stadium down behind the bench, and I am screaming at Brian Dable. Well, he might be up in the booth. I know where the booth is. I'll scream in the booth. You better not have any design. And our boy Tim Hasselbeck backed me up on this, which I thought was fantastic because getting Tim's approval is pretty important. Is that don't have design run plays for Cam Ward. Now, if you take off running, you can't control that, right? That's not design. That's scrambling. I get all that. But don't have design run plays for your franchise. That's why I'd rather you be a scrambler and then throw the ball down the field.
Yeah. What if they had a design run play for Will Levis, but also had Cam Ward in the same package?
Why would you do that? Why don't you just give the ball to Tony Pollard? I would not have a design run pat.
No, like as a trick play. Like you have Cam Ward in the slot, then you have Will Levis at quarterback. No.
Well, then you should have drafted Pavia. I'd rather have Pavia run that play than Will Levis.
And sign him to a 3-year deal?
Sign him to a 3-year deal. I don't want to see any of that. And I think Dable knows that. No running plays for Cam Ward. Cam Ward goes down. You're done. Now it's pushed back a year.
Also, he's 10 pounds lighter. So
sure.
I'm just saying, if you're 10 pounds lighter, I'm not saying you're more susceptible to getting injured, but probably watch your P's and Q's.
But 205 to 215, is that much of a difference?
A little bit.
Now for me, yeah, I mean.
Depends on how you wear it.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped 60, so felt good, right? I'm not sure 10 would have helped me, but my frame is a lot different than Cam Ward. That's an NFL All-Pro, hopefully soon form. I'm like all-pro Chinese buffet, which, by the way, that was a good meal.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah,
appreciate
you're
it.
welcome.
I don't want to be too, nitpicky when I say this, but like looking at a bunch of videos that Titans have posted, Cam Ward's spiral, let's get that down a little bit. A little bit of some wobbleness coming out of his hand there.
There is. I saw that. You were correct about that.
That's something I'd be like, hey, if you're the number 1 overall pick from last season, we got to tighten up that spiral, especially if it's going to Carnell Tate being the number 4 overall wide receiver this year. I think that's something to look at.
Matthew from Jolton says, if Ace Ventura as Pet Detective is a sports movie, then Little Nicky is too, because of the 3 minutes there with the Harlem Globetrotters. Oh, Chris and Dixon, I love you, man. He says about, oh my gosh, this is great. He's like, Ace Ventura is, okay, my computer. Come on now a little bit. There we go. Ace Ventura is about the dolphin. They got kidnapped, not Marino. And I said, hey, pal, but it's the Miami Dolphin. Come on, man. He said it's also a comedy, not a sports movie. Chris and Dixon, we're going to ban you from the text line.
He makes valid points.
No, no, he doesn't. Not at all. Ace Ventura is a sports movie because Dan Marino's in it. He gets kidnapped. And it's about the Miami Dolphin, not a regular dolphin. It's about the Miami Dolphin. By the way, have you seen that recently?
I have not.
It was on yesterday. It's what's on my. It's on yesterday. It's just
one of those Roku channels or no?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that is the best thing on planet Earth.
Roku has 887 channels at least.
Sometimes I'll catch myself just scrolling through channels. I'll watch like Dog Bounty Hunter, then Johnny Carson, and like 25 minutes after that. They have a lot of good stuff.
Right. You know what movie's on all the time on Roku? Air Force One.
Really?
is like on that, and then London is Fallen or whatever. Those two movies are on more than The Shawshank Redemption and A Few Good Men on Roku. They're on all the time, which is fine.
You know, Little House on the Prairie has its own channel.
I saw that. Not watching it. That is the most depressing TV show of all time.
You may learn something.
No, I'm not. There's one episode. I know what to break real quick. There's an episode where Michael Landon's wife, I don't remember her name, Miss Ingram, I guess, goes to the store to get some supplies, and they hadn't paid they hadn't paid a bill from the previous month, and the lady whose husband runs it just berates her. Like, you're terrible, you're poor, get out of here. But I mean, and she goes home and he can't find a job to work. I mean, I'm like, who's watching this thinking, oh, this is great? Little House on the Prairie is the worst TV show of all time. It is the worst. I am telling you. Watch an episode, you won't smile one time.
So when you hear the trumpets at the very beginning of the episode, you're done.
And they're riding that damn prairie wagon across the valley, and they're smiling and laughing. And I'm thinking, they got no money. They got 37 kids. They don't know where they're going. Everybody hates them. And I was like, I'm not watching this. I need positivity. Just terrible. All right, we got a break, right? Go to the break. Bob Seger? Oh, fantastic. Welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show. You guys are I'm telling you, man, you make me smile on our text line, 615-737-1025. Kevin says, hey, Joe, Peppa Pig is on Roku, and it's a sports show because in one episode they kick a soccer ball. Kevin in Florida, oh, my gosh, thank you so much for that. Robert says, I'd rather rip my fingernails off with pliers than watch Lost on the Prairie. My wife used to watch it every day. It was pure torture. So, yeah, that's great. We talk sports here. Then you put out the Little House on the Prairie and that sports movies, and our text line goes crazy with all that being said. You watch Peppa Pig?
No.
It's a good show.
I have to give it a look. Give it a watch.
Sure, do it. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, like, it's crazy how everybody is kind of validating why Ace Ventura is not really a sports movie. Pet Detective, that is.
It's a sports. What's it based around? What's Ace Ventura based around? What happens?
A dolphin.
Who's dolphin?
The Miami Dolphin.
Thank you. Enough said. You answered your own question.
Right? It has nothing to do on the field.
If somebody stole T-Rex, which I wish they would.
Why?
I'm not
State Animal.
Not T-Rex fan.
Mm-mm. Are you kidding me?
Mm-mm. State Animal is a orange construction barrel. Listen. Thank you, Connor. Or whoever back there's laughing.
That was me.
Listen, what were we talking about?
Talking about
T-Rex gets kidnapped. That's a sports movie. Who's T-Rex work for?
Titans.
Sports movie.
That would be a pretty good sports movie. I feel like if you kidnap a raccoon, people would be wondering, where'd that trash panda go?
Right. You ever had an encounter with a raccoon?
I have.
It's weird because I'm like, does he have rabies or does he not have rabies?
Well, it's funny because they'll stand up on their hind legs and you're
kind of like you.
Well, yeah, I'm a human. They're
Okay.
an animal.
Right.
When I throw the trash away inside of like a giant dumpster, they'll be, so I did have this once. I was at summer camp I was working at. I went to go throw away the trash from the lunch.
Okay.
And there was like two of them just in there ruffling.
How'd they get in? The
door was open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That, the metal door that you can slide on open on the side.
Yeah.
It was wide open.
Well, I was wondering, like, if it's a closed trash can, how do they get in? They flip the top up and get in there?
I think so.
How do you get out? Just zip up, knock the top off?
Well, to be fair, they're eating the trash. They're eating their lunch. I'm pretty sure they get like the cat nap in where they just eat and they're just all fat and happy and they just sleep in there.
It'd be hot in there. I mean, just in the summertime.
Yeah, but it's a raccoon. I'm pretty sure they can survive anything.
Well, I mean, I came like eye to eye with one. I'm like, all right, what are we going to do here? Or if you attack me, I'm going to grab you by the throat. You can go your merry way. I'm like, well, then we'll be done, right? But the whole time I'm thinking, does he got rabies? If he bites me in the neck, I'm dead. So I'm like, let's work this out somehow, some way.
First off, I don't know how a raccoon could bite you on the neck. They're not a vampire. You really would have to be uncoordinated for that to happen.
Well, I mean, if I'm going at him and I fall off and
you played football in college.
I know, but still, right? You could kind of give
yourself a little more credit.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
I told Chase this one time. He thought I was weird. If there's a ghost in your house, what would you do? Would you hide? Would you talk to him? Would you run out? I told Chase, I said, if there's a ghost in my house, I'm running to him. I'm running at the ghost because the ghost isn't expecting you to run at him. He's like, I got this guy. I'm going to work my way around. And then if you run at him, he's like, oh God, this guy is crazy. I don't want to be here.
Joe, they'll laugh at you. If you have multiple ghosts, they will definitely laugh at you.
We're not saying one ghost.
Just one. Still,
I hope there's multiple.
That ghost will laugh at you. You know what I'm grabbing? Holy water and a Bible. Maybe a crucifix.
I got several Bibles around the house, and I might pick one up and charge, but I'm not sitting back and let that happen.
Holy water definitely helps. Just splash it on the wall here and there. Say a few Hail Marys. We'll be good to go.
So here come the response. You guys are fantastic. Ricky says it's not a sportsman. Horrible take. Ricky, you're a horrible take. 0900 says Naked Gun's a sports movie because OJ was in it. Dumb logic. No, it's not dumb. 0900. You commented on that.
Might want to read 8779. That helps validate your statement here.
Tim and Mount Juliet. Ace Ventura teaches you specifically how to kick a field goal. Laces out, Dan. And if you haven't seen the Peppa Pig teams, the Peppa Pig learns how to whistle episode, it's a must watch. Thank you, Tim and Mount Juliet. This is, folks, this is the show you get on a Friday before Memorial Day, right? This is what you get.
Educational.
Yes. Thomas in Nashville. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, nor is Ace Ventura a sports movie. It's a movie that references sports. Love you, Big Joe. Thomas on a car phone. Thomas, come on, you're better than this. It is a sports movie. All right, so we got celebrity birthdays coming up next.
Yes, sir.
Can Connor play?
He's right
Connor
here.
Newt? Yeah. So what's Connor versus Dr. Crane, since Chase is off with the very popular celebrity birthdays? It's coming up next, right here on the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5 The Game. All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show. Final segment here. Coming up with celebrity birthdays. What day is it? Chase McCabe off today. Connor Newt in studio. Connor, you're quickly becoming the Regis Philbin of Nashville media because you're on like 18 hours a day.
Yeah, it's tiring, but it's worth it.
It's worth hell yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Here's my advice to you. Don't ever go work a corporate job once you're fully immersed in this.
Yeah.
Because it's fun, it's chaotic, you get yelled at, you get praised. I mean, and do something you love, and this is fun.
Yeah, it is. I love being here. I love being able to be here every day, and I love what I'm able to do and talk about.
That's the attitude. Dr. Crane, you listen to this right here?
I am. It goes with our motto here at Cromwell Media. Love what you do, love where you work.
Love it, buddy. All right, so Chase is off. Connor's in for celebrity birthdays. But first, what day is it?
Okay, first on this we have, Bitcoin Pizza Day. I don't know how that is a factor, but I guess you pay with Bitcoin. Interesting. Canadian Immigrants Day is today. This is America. Don't fry America.
What?
I'm just saying it's America, not Canada. Canadian Immigrants Day. Yeah.
Yeah. So get out of here, right?
Just saying it's America.
We love Tennessee.
That's all I'm saying. Don't Fry Day is today, so make sure you wear your SPF 50. Harvey Milk Day. I'm not sure what that is.
He was a former politician in San Francisco that was killed because he was gay.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie with Sean Penn. It's a really good movie.
What's the name of the movie?
Milk.
Okay.
It is.
I'll
With
give it a
Sean
watch.
Penn. It's really good.
International Being You Day. There you go.
That's every day.
International Day for Biological Diversity. National Buy a Musical Instrument Day. National Cooler Day. That probably is appropriate for
Two
more
kind of
than-
coolers. There's the Patrick Swayze cooler in Roadhouse, or there's a cooler that you pack your Capri Suns in.
Well, that is very true.
Okay.
Next on the list, we have National Craft Distillery Day, National Death Busters Day. I guess that's like for Mythbusters, for like, the crash.
You're reading the list, not us.
It doesn't give me a true description. National Road Trip Day is today.
Heck yeah.
National Solitaire Day, the card game.
Oh, yeah.
National Title Track Day, National Vanilla Pudding Day, National Wig Out Day. So wear a wig somewhere, I guess, or a toupee, however you wear it. Sherlock Holmes Day is today, World Goth Day, and World Paloma Day. It's a drink.
Okay. What's in that drink?
It's a great question. Looks like not a blood orange, but maybe.
Do you not have a description of like what goes in the drink? Or are you just guessing?
When I click on it, it gives me like 9 different pop-ups. I don't want all these pop-ups.
Do you know what goes in a Long Island iced tea, Nick Frazier?
I should know this.
Do I know something about alcohol? You don't.
I mean, yeah.
What goes in it?
What goes in it?
All the clear drinks.
All the clear liquors. That's correct.
Yeah.
Plus?
What is the plus?
I think it was and I bartended for years, a splash of Coke and what's the liqueur that goes in there? And I can't think of the name right now. But yeah, all the clear liquors.
Okay.
Yep.
Bailey's?
I knew it was all the clear liquors.
No, not Bailey's, goofy.
Just
Stay out of
just
this.
toss one out there.
You stay. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Get these within 2 years. Connor Newt, you get to go first since you're in studio. How old is Tommy John today? Not the surgery, the actual guy.
Okay. Tommy John. 73.
84.
83. Dr. Crane's up 1-0. Dr. Crane, how old is NBA announcer Mike Breen?
Bang. Isn't that what he does?
Yeah, that's what he does.
Did you see the one he missed the other night? The
No.
shot went in and went out, and he's like, "There's a shot, bang! It went out." He got like half of bang out of his mouth. Don't do it.
I had to do it. Come on, Joe. I'm going to go with 63.
All right,
I'll go 69. Nice.
65. Dr. Crane's up 2-0. Connor Howard's former pitcher Jose Mesa.
54.
45.
60. Dr. Crane Howell's Olympic skater Apollo. Oh no.
53.
61.
44. Connor Howell is former New England Patriot receiver Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman, 39.
41.
He's 40. That's a push. Dr. Crane, how old is the Joker, Novak Djokovic?
Novak is 39.
42.
39 exactly. 4-0. Connor, how old is singer Morrissey? If you get this, Connor, Nick's going to buy you a hot dog
Okay.
from Nash Dogs.
Sounds like a great place, actually.
Great place.
37.
The name again?
Morrissey,
61.
67.
No.
Please get this, Dr. Crane. How old is New Edition singer Johnny Gill?
71.
62.
He is 60. So you guys both met that. I can't read my writing here, but this is important birthday.
Wait, you said 62, right, Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got it.
Oh, okay.
You said 60.
My bad. Thanks for
I got you.
Okay.
41.
All right.
Joe's over here trying to skimp people out in points.
It's
Well,
Friday.
I can't read my own writing because I'm trying to get stuff down, and I'm like, well, who is this person? I need to go back and see who this person is.
I
And then
want
wrote
to
it
check
down.
your checkbook, man.
You might want to watch your mouth, pal. Oh, all right. Dr. Crane, how old's actress model Naomi Campbell? Beautiful.
49.
54.
56. He's battling back. It's 4-2. All right, lightning round. Here we go. As soon as I get past this Subaru pop-up ad. All right. Connor, how old's actor director Richard Benjamin?
Oh, 67.
64.
88. Dr. Crane, how old is Barbara Parkins? She was in Peyton Place and Valley of the Dolls.
71.
65.
84. Connor, how old is songwriter? He wrote all of Elton John songs. Bernie Taupin.
80.
84.
76. Dr. Crane, how old is, he lives here in Nashville. Bass player for Diamond Rio, Dana Williams. How old is Dana Williams?
68.
74.
65. Connor, how old's guitar player Jesse Valenzuela of Gin Blossoms?
66.
63.
64. Dr. Crane's up 5-2. We got a little more. We got playtime. Dr. Crane, how old is actress Brooke Smith? She was the one that was abducted in Silence of the Lambs. And then she's like, you help me move my couch. And then he abducted her. Brooke Smith.
58.
62.
59. 6-2. Dr. Crane. Connor Newt, how old is actress Maggie Q?
Maggie Q.
She was an insurgent and Divergent.
Oh, okay. 45.
43.
47. It is 6-3. Dr. Crane, how old is actress Anna Baryshnikov?
44.
50.
34. And that's the end. Nick, you win 6-3.
All right.
But another tough match, though, with our good friend Connor. Connor, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Connor, what's coming up on DVD today?
On DVD, I believe Mitch Light of The Athletics is going to join us
All right.
to talk a little college basketball with Tyler Tanner and his decision.
What's his
With
decision?
Is he going to stick in the NBA draft or come back to Vandy? He has 3 days to decide.
That's a tough decision, man.
And Chad Withrow is going to join us.
Love me some Chad Withrow.
320.
All right.
OTAs.
There you go. Thanks, Connor. Dr.
Thank you.
Crane, as always, brother, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir. See
Good
you Tuesday.
show. We leave every show every week with the same message to our guys out there. If you're going through something, you're struggling, man, please know how much you are absolutely loved. And look, I get we have bad days. I feel there's some days, man, that the pressure's on us. But I'm telling you, man, stop for a moment, ask God, and tell him that you need a break. It's okay. Just tell God you need a break for some things, right? He'll listen to you. I'm telling you, talk to him every day. He's listening to you. If you're going through some things, hey, I need a break, man. We're here for you. Please reach out if you need to talk. I mean, I talk to guys at all hours. You call me up. We'll talk to you, man. Just tell you how much we love you and how better our world is because you were here. It's not something we throw out there every day. We mean it. We love you guys. Again, our world is a better place because you were here, and we mean that. We love you, and know more importantly, more than anything else in this world, please know how much God loves you. DVD's next. Have a great weekend, guys.